In contrast to type 3, type 2 is relationship-oriented and sensitive to the feelings of others. 2s believe it is necessary to give of themselves in order to gain approval from others. As a result, they focus on fulfilling the needs and supporting the goals of their coworkers. 2s excel at generating good feelings and supporting the development of others. In the process, they often repress their own needs in favor of maintaining an image of selflessness and indispensability.
It became clear to me that I was a 2 as I began to observe the way that I pay attention to people and how much I pay attention to what other people's needs are and how I can satisfy those needs and how I interact with people, and the connection that I get with people led me to really understand that I was a 2. My leadership style really involves trying to make people comfortable with what they're doing as they grow towards achieving the best that they can achieve. I work together with people, not in a dominating role. I really feel like I like to work side by side with people, so that I'm working with them, they're not working for me. But I want to let people develop to their best potential what they're able to do. It's a downside, and when you become too friendly with people, it's very difficult to give criticism to people because you think that they're going to like you and be part of the team if they feel good about themselves. And if you criticize them, then there's a concern they won't feel good about themselves. But it's really important for other people to feel comfortable as we move along that path that changes direction, especially in a startup company. You change direction very quickly and very often, and people get afraid. Once I know the direction, I certainly sometimes take a long time because I'm trying to gather and make sure that I make everybody happy before I move forward. But once I sort of have a vision in my head, there's not much that'll stand in my way. I can move pretty solidly in the direction that we need to go in. If I have a good rapport with the person that has authority over me, if I really trust that person, then I will support that person and be behind them and defend that person enormously. My authority over people is probably more difficult. I have problems telling people, criticizing people or giving them some strong direction that may be counter to what I think they want to hear. I think I'm actually more comfortable having someone else have the power where I'm sort of the second person in command, carrying through all the work behind it, but actually not having the real power. It's helpful for me to understand my Enneagram point, to sort of watch how I get caught up with people, which is really a wonderful place to be when you're enticing people to come join this crazy startup. I mean, you can really create an environment where they feel comfortable. On the other hand, I need to watch when it starts to take over me and I'm so concerned with the needs of other people that I'm not taking care of what the company needs are and what my needs are. I sort of try to understand the conflict as quickly as possible with that person and figure out what they needed to get the job done. I mean, I'd really sit down with them and work very closely with them. Sometimes it would happen that Bill moved so quickly that a lot of times people would feel left behind. So I felt I needed to go in and kind of shore up these people a little bit and give them some confidence that they could kind of get back on the fast train ride that we were on. I tend to really probably get involved to make people feel good that I'm hearing what they're saying, give them a lot of feedback, talk to them a lot of times. So it's easy for me to continually talk to people, often about the same problem. I'm very tolerant of people having the same issues and coming back with the same problem. In a startup, I was doing everything when we started. There were 3 of us, and so I was doing everything, which fits right into my model of being indispensable. So as we hired more people, and I had to let go of various things and let people take responsibility, at times that was very difficult, and being aware of my 2 point and the Enneagram really helped me to understand that I was having trouble letting go and being this indispensable person. It was very difficult for me to actually ever ask people to do things that I felt, I sort of had to do it all and then sort of somehow get them involved, but it was very difficult for me to sort of separate myself from the people and say, okay, that's your job and this is my job. It was always this togetherness and sort of this always meeting their needs and my needs, but not really understanding that. So I really think now I'm able to separate. Before, I just would have been in everybody's face all the time, and when it didn't get done, get pretty angry about it. I never differentiated between work and friends, and that is very difficult in a work situation if you don't sort of make a work situation different than a social situation. I had to learn sometimes very much the hard way that to allow people to have their own identity and have their own pieces of things that they could do and not be so involved in everything all the time. It's still important to me for people to feel good about what they're doing and the work environment, and I think that you have a very strong capability to be able to make people feel good and to relate to them and to connect with them. Being so involved in the feelings can be a problem for me. If I can't pull myself away from that, I just get really sucked into each individual problems at a very minute level in trying to adjust things to make someone feel better at the moment. And I think that can be a real issue for me, to try and step back from that a little bit.
A crucial leadership development challenge for Type 2 is to both give and receive appropriate support and to develop the freedom to make decisions in the best interests of the business as well as of its people.